What if the biggest mystery of the F1 season isn't about upgrades, race pace, or tire strategies, but about something we're not being told? Lewis Hamilton's first season in red is turning heads for all the wrong reasons. No podiums, no wins, no signs of that championship run fans were dreaming of. And now, even Fernando Alonso is sounding the alarm with a warning that hits deeper than any lap time. Let's talk about what's really going on at Ferrari, or at least what's being carefully hidden behind the scenes. When Hamilton signed with Ferrari, it felt like something out of a movie. The seven-time champ, in the twilight of his career, joining the sport's most iconic team to chase that elusive eighth title. But we're 10 races in, and that script has been flipped on its head. His results: a sprint win in China and a fourth-place finish at Imola. Solid? Sure. Legendary? Not even close. He's been outpaced, outraced, and outscored by his teammate Charles Leclerc, who holds the edge in nearly every department: qualifying, Sundays, and championship points. And when Hamilton does speak publicly, it's not about setup tweaks or unlucky weekends. It's cryptic. There are a lot of changes that need to be made in the system. I wish I could tell you what's happening. There's a lot going on in the background. That's not a frustrated driver talking about balance or tire degradation. That's someone hinting at bigger issues, structural ones. Internal politics, technical breakdowns, a cultural mismatch. Nobody knows for sure. And that's exactly the problem. If anyone understands the pressure cooker that is Ferrari, it's Fernando Alonso. He came close, agonizingly close, to winning a title with the Scuderia more than a decade ago. He knows the culture, the chaos, the challenge. And even he's puzzled by what's happening with Hamilton. What's wrong with him? I have no idea, Alonso said. It's difficult to give an opinion without all the information. Alonso noted something others are just starting to pick up on. Hamilton's struggles at Ferrari don't look that different from his final years at Mercedes. In both situations, he's been consistently behind his teammate. Back then, it was George Russell. Now it's Leclerc. The pattern is impossible to ignore. Last year, the Mercedes was difficult to drive, and Russell was more comfortable. This year seems to be the same. Alonso's point: if the car isn't working for Hamilton's style, and if he's not being heard behind the scenes, that could explain a lot. But still, Alonso stops short of drawing conclusions, because like the rest of us, he's on the outside looking in. What if I told you the man leading Ferrari's F1 operation is standing on the edge, and that every move he makes over the next few races could decide whether he gets to keep the job? Behind closed doors, the pressure is rising. The board is watching, and Fred Vasseur knows it. But here's the twist: he's not backing down. He's asking for one thing: time. When Fred Vasseur was handed the keys to Ferrari's Formula One team in early 2023, the goal was clear: restore the Scuderia to its former glory. The team needed structure, discipline, and results. And to his credit, he delivered progress in year one, even notching up race wins in a Red Bull-dominated era. The Ferrari driver was adamant that he's going to give all of his efforts to make an F1 race in South Africa a reality. Furthermore, he said, "I'm working in the background to get South Africa in the race. That's like such a dream for me. I've got to stay until they get that race." So what does this mean for all the other circuits on the calendar? It's definitely not good news, because if you think about it, the drivers have been adamant that 24 races is the absolute maximum they can do in a single year. Even for some of them, this number is already too much, with F1 staff suffering from fatigue and jet lag from constant traveling without proper rest. Now that Imola is done and dusted from the calendar, the next one in line seems to be Barcelona, especially with the addition of Madrid. The general belief is that Barcelona is going to suffer a similar fate to Spa, potentially even worse, as Madrid street circuit is poised to take away the glory and the epitome of the Spanish GP. If this happens, then make no mistake, the Spanish government is going to interfere as well. The authorities are adamant that we cannot go racing on two circuits in their country because of the financial aspect of managing this challenge. So we could either wave goodbye to the Spanish GP in general, or we could see a deal similar to the one at Spa. Over the course of 6 years, the Belgian GP will miss out on 2028 and 2030 as a participant on the calendar. In those 2 years, it's highly likely that Formula One would want to promote a race from one of South Africa's bidders, Thailand or Qiddiya. If it stays with Jeddah, I don't see how the interest of Saudi Arabia won't grow in the following period because of all the massive investments they've made, primarily through Aramco and an Aston Martin. Nevertheless, a very interesting period is waiting for us, and we seem to be having a lot of trouble keeping the traditional values at bay. The sport is evolving, and the interests of the drivers might not be the priority of the authorities and the F1. As things stand, the most important thing right now is the cash flow and the amount of money that a circuit can generate. So if it means that we're going to drop Barcelona because of a race in Thailand, South Africa, or maybe even South Korea, then that's what we're going to receive. With all this in mind, what do you think about the expansion of the sport to one of these venues? And more importantly, which track do you think is going to be dropped from the calendar in order to make this work? Let us know in the comments below. And once you do that, make sure to click on the video that appears on your screen right now.